So now, this is going to tie in. I just finished with the fourth season of Continuum. It's going to tie in with time travel because obviously Continuum, one of the multi-threads in there was time travel. And it's an indicative dual use theory that they're going with, and how to cover paradox. Paradoxes seem to be the most confusing part about this, and basically, I just woke up. I'm not into paradox right now. The fact that I'm actually sitting here is a paradox in and of itself, but that's a whole another story. They weren't, because they're crossing. Basically what they did was they crossed streams, as the best metaphor. We came from the famous Ghostbusters, and it sort of actually made sense in a science fiction kind of way, but not in a science kind of way as much as it could have, because you're talking about 60 years and 2 events, and there's like 10,000 events a day, and there's events that you don't even see, or you can't even see coming, that could have happened in the meantime. I mean, seriously, it's like I used to say, I'm trying to get out the door. I got to go to work. I got a schedule to meet somebody in 15 minutes, and it takes me 15 minutes to get there. And all of a sudden, the wife wants to talk. She just wants, oh no, I got to stop you for 3 seconds because now I need a hug. And that 3 seconds makes me miss 15 lights because I would have been out there and hit green lights. Now I'm hitting red lights because somebody wanted to adjust my timeline. Seriously, that's how simple it is to change history, to change time. That could put me in an intersection when the drunk driver comes the other way. That could, because somebody else affected my time. If I had left on my time, I most likely would have been there fine. Because when I left on my time, I never had any problems. Whenever someone else interfered with my timeline, I always had problems. So yeah, that there is a serious effect in random variables, as we call them in science, that can affect you. And when you're dealing with this kind of thing, I mean, I'm not going to give up the ending, but let's just say that they're dealing with multiple timelines. Now, they're dealing with a timeline where, if you've ever watched Continuum, you'd know that there's people from the future coming to the past to fix the future, or to change the future for their own personal benefit. And there's multiple people doing all these multiple things at the same time, and they're trying to stop each other, and they're trying to not stop each other, and they're trying to, everybody has their goal. And then there's another season, and they need another big change, and they don't really know anything about science. They just know how to write from other fictional movies. Sort of like how the vampire lore has evolved. And actually, the vampire lore has evolved more in the past 20 years than it did in the first 500. Because everybody wants to be different. Okay, you can't be that different with science. I mean, you have to use your plausibility of science. And like I've already noted, that there's multiple theories, and potentially all of them are correct. I mean, we can have an electric motor, we can have a gas motor, and a diesel motor. And we can have Fred Flintstone running down the street. There's a whole bunch of ways to do things sometimes. And that's similar with time travel. And this is using a couple of different theories of, well, if I change the time, can I change it back by not doing anything, or by doing this, or by him not doing that, or by them over there doing something else, or by me not existing, or by me existing twice, or by me, you know, how many ways can you screw the pooch and then expect to straighten everything out? Well, you'll see when you watch the 4 seasons of Continuum, which will probably be more confusing than this was. It's a good show. It's entertaining. Yes, it does have the amateur-ish looking. You can see them looking for their marks when they're doing the fight scenes. But other than that, it's almost excusable because you really have like 400-pound guys and 50-pound women fighting in scenes. And yeah, if they weren't, you know, doing this in their basic, you know, 4th grade mentality of very amateur fight scenes. And choreo, I mean, it's basically like, okay, we don't have time to rehearse this 20 times. But anyways, it's entertaining. It's entertaining, and some of the science is somewhat plausible. All of it's plausible if everything else is wrong. So that's what we're dealing with, because we're dealing with unknowns. We're dealing with theories. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those places where you got some wriggle room for another 20 years before some more knowledge comes up and changes the theory. Enjoy. Continue.